This is our lesson 5 on website development, and we'll learn a few things that make what we know so far a little bit more flexible, and a couple of new things, but not too many. Today should be an easy lesson to follow. So we start with the usual skeleton of a web page. Like we normally do, we have the HTML, we have the head and title. So we'll call this page 9. February, still February 2011. Remember, the title is what you see on top of the web browser. So this is our title, and let's make the background, this time we'll make it yellow, and one of the things I wanted to make a little better was the horizontal ruler. If you remember, let's create a small table that will just have one row and one cell, and we'll put some word inside, mostly empty. Just for the sake of seeing the effect of the rulers, we'll close the table. So after the table, I'll create a ruler, HR, and inside the ruler I'll make it in a certain color. So what's gonna be nice with yellow, let's say sky blue, and we'll give it a size. Size will be how thick the ruler is in pixels. So let's make it 20 pixels, and let's also give it a width, and the width will be 600 pixels, and let's close this. So let's see how this thing will look when I upload it to the website. Let's save it. Let's open our program that loads the page. Typo. Okay, let's go here, find the page, I put it here on the Learn folder, page 9, and I will upload it to the Learn folder. Upload. Let's see how it looks on the browser. Page 9. Okay. The table didn't come out so good because I didn't specify borders, but the table is actually here, and this is our horizontal ruler. So you see that it's sky blue and it's pretty thick. So let's make some changes and see. Let's make the table with borders. Make it border equals 2. So we'll see the table. And let's change the sky blue into blue. And let's make it, let's not put the width and see what happens. We just put the size and we'll make the size even thicker. We'll make it 30. Save this, upload it again. And let's refresh the page. Okay, so now we got it blue. Now, because I didn't specify the width, it stretches on an entire page. And here's the table with one cell in it, as we expect. Okay, now let's bring back the width attribute. Let's make it 300. And let's make the size a little smaller. Let's make it 10. And save this. So now it's only 300 pixels, the width of the ruler. So it's not going to be stretched on the entire page. But let's see where it gets placed on the page. Refresh the page. We see that it gets placed in the center. What if we want it underneath the table? We want the ruler to be on the left hand side. Right now it's in the center of the page. We could do that by specifying another attribute which is called align, and give it the value left. Save this and upload the page again. Refresh. And now it's on the left. So that attribute could be left, right, or center. We just simply say align equals, and we give it one of those three values. And if I don't put the align, you see that the default that it takes is center. Okay, so this is how we can play around with the rulers. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you, remember we saw the unordered list? So this time I will show you an ordered list, and we'll see the differences between them. An ordered list starts like this, simply OL for ordered list, and then the same thing as we did with the unordered list, LI, each and every element will be inside LIs. And closing an LI with a /, and let's create another 2 of these. And we'll close the ordered list with the same way as usual, /OL, as we normally do with the tags. And this will be photo, and this will be video. And we'll save this, and let's see what happens when we load the page again. We'll see how the ordered list looks like. And if you remember, the unordered list simply had those bullets, those black dots on the left for each and every line, each and every line item. LI stands for line item, and we should see it here once we refresh the page. Refresh. So this time you can notice that we got those numbers 1, 2, 3, and we didn't put those numbers anywhere. We just put the names: song, photo, video. Again, let's go back to the HTML page. You see what I did? I just put them inside li/li, and because it's an ordered list, the browser interpreted that into the numbers, sequential numbers starting from 1. So this is the nature of a ordered list. Another thing that I wanted to show you has to do with links. So far we talked about 2 types of links. One of them was inside our website, where we link pages. If you remember, let's go back to some of the pages that we had before. For instance, let's go to page 6. Remember, I had here links from page to page inside our own website. And also we learned another type of link, and that was to an external website. I think we did it in the beginning. Not this one. Maybe this one. Yes, here we had a link to a Google page. So that was a link to a website that's outside our website. And today we'll learn another type of link. The link that I wanted to show you today has to do with staying on the same page. Sometimes you have a very long page and you want to guide the user of your website to different sections of the page. You could have a page that somebody will scroll for a long time to find something. So the idea is to put some markers inside the page and enable the person who browses your website or your web page to click on a link that will bring the page to the point where the marker is. So how do we do that? First of all, this feature is called anchors, because we put sort of anchors. Anchor is something that straps down a ship, if you know what anchor is. When the ship wants to stop moving, it throws the anchor into the ocean, and basically the anchor makes it stationary. So in a case of a web page, an anchor will just give us a spot on the page where we can bring the user from a link. So it will be clearer if I just show you a page that I created already, and I will explain how the anchors work. Okay, so I created a page with a lot of text, and the reason I put a lot of text is because you need a long page in order to demonstrate those anchors. If you put a short page, it's going to be visible, the whole page will be visible on one screen, so then there is no point to put anchors. You need anchors when the page is really long. So I put a title, I called it page 7, and I'll call it anchors. And then I put the same background, yellow, and then I put a table. Let's look at this table. And inside the table, I have on the first row, I have a link. Remember, we start a link with an A tag, an href, but this time the name of the link starts with £. So this is how we create anchors. We pick a name that we want and we prefix it with a £. So here I called it $critic. And the visible text on the page will be critic words. So we'll remember this is going to be like a label. The $critic is going to be a label. And then I created another link that's called, starts again with £, and called answer, and the visible text on the page will be answer. So let's see what happens with those two keywords that I put here of $critic and $answer. Where are they in the text? So the next thing to do after we created those links is to embed inside the text those keywords, critic and answer. And those will be our anchors. So I'll show you where I put it. Okay, so the first one I put here. If you see this link, here I put the link as, again, A for link, but then I don't put href, but I put name. And the name is the label that I chose above, the keyword, without the £. So the browser will know when it sees the $critic to look for a link that's specified as an A and has a name of the label critic without the $. And I created another one, and if you remember, the second one was $answer. So now I'll look for answer as another link inside the page. And if you pay attention here, I put the link next to a horizontal ruler, so it will be easy for us to see if we really jump into that location. So you see there is an HR color violet, size 10, and if I go furthermore and I look for the next anchor, it's gonna be here. You see I put another anchor, and this time the name is answer, which is my second label, and here I put a ruler which is red, and the width is 600 and the size is 20. So we have those two rulers to mark those points where I want to jump. I want the user to jump when they click on the link. And then I put another one here. I put another link and I called it end. So again, it's #end, and that's the end of the text. I called it end of story. So if we go all the way down to the end of the text, it doesn't matter really what the text is. I just copied some stuff from Wikipedia. So here is the label end. So when I click on that, it will jump over to this part of the page. Okay, so let's upload this page. Let's save it and let's see how it works. Page 7, upload. Okay, let's go and select page 7. Didn't upload yet. Now it did. Okay, so let's go to page 7. Okay, so page 7. This is what I did. I said critic words will bring us to a place where I put a ruler. Let's see what ruler I put on critic. That was the first anchor, if you remember. First anchor was critic, and critic was over here. So the ruler is going to be a violet ruler. So let me click on that link. Click on the critic link, critic words, and you see that the ruler here is violet ruler, which means I got to the point that the anchor was placed in. And if I go back, also another thing that you can notice, look at the address bar. The address bar has page7.html and #critic. So what it does, it attaches the anchor to the name of the page. And if I go back on the browser, it will bring me back to where I was in the beginning, which is this table with links. Now let me click on answer, and answer brought me to the second ruler, which was red. If you remember here, the second ruler was at the anchor answer, and here I put a red ruler. So since it was a red ruler, that link brought me into the red ruler, and you can see here #answer was attached to page 7. As I said before, the anchor gets attached to the page. And then end of story is this one. Click on this one. And this is this ruler. Now let's see if this was indeed the color that I specified for the end. And if you look here, you see that the color is orange, the size is 30. But here, something different happened. It didn't bring the ruler to the top of the page. The reason it didn't do it is because the page ended. You see the page ended here. If it brought this thing to the top of the page, it would have empty space here. So if the anchor happens to be in the last page and there isn't more text to fill up a whole page, then it will just show a full page and the anchor will be somewhere inside the page. Now, to make sure that this is behaving like this, what I will do is I'll copy some of this text into here after the ruler, and then it'll have more than one page left over. And if it has more than one page left over after the anchor, it will bring the anchor to the top of the page. So let me try to do that and see if that really happens. So let me copy some text from here that will be enough to fill up a whole page. Let me copy all this text up to here, and let me place it here after the last anchor. And now I think we'll have more than one page also for the last anchor. And let's upload it and see if it brings the ruler or the anchor to the top of the page. The ruler is just a marker that I put in order for us to see that it really gets to that point where the anchor is. We don't need the ruler in order to place anchors because the anchors are not really visible on the page. So let's refresh the page and let's go back to the beginning. So what I started to say is that the anchors themselves are not visible. If we go down to the ruler, you see there is nothing that says here that there is an anchor, because the A link with a name is not visible inside the page. That's why I put the rulers, for you to see that we really jump to the places where the anchor is placed. So now let's try to jump to end of story. And what happened? Oh, I have to stretch the page. Okay, so this time it almost has enough. It still doesn't have enough. You see, it ends the page here and it doesn't bring the ruler to the top because it doesn't have more than one page left over. So let me copy some more text into the end. Let me just repeat this section again. So this time for sure it will fill out more than one page after the anchor. And we should see the anchor goes to the top when we upload and refresh the page. So let's refresh. And let's go now to the beginning and click end of story. And oh, now it's almost still. Okay, now let's try it again. Let's do critic words is here, answer, the red, end of story. It's a little bit up because it didn't fill up the page completely, but you see that it's almost getting to the top. So that's how the anchors work. And another small thing I wanted to show you is how to make text blink. You see here I put another link to YouTube, and what I will do is I'll change this just for the fun of it and make this link blink. It's supposed to blink. I guess because of the browser. We'll open it in Chrome. I think it will blink in Chrome. Let's try it here. Page 7. So let's try it in Firefox. Sometimes the browsers have different behaviors. So we'll try to see if Firefox gives us the effect that I want. Page 7. And here you see that it's blinking. Look at YouTube. So the effect of putting the tag blink around it, and again this is the tag that I put. If you look here, I put blink before the text and then close it with /blink. But as you see, it doesn't work in all browsers. I think Internet Explorer will also show it blinking. But anyway, this is one of the difficulties that the web has, that sometimes different browsers don't interpret the HTML page the same way. So anyway, the last element that I wanted to show you today was something that's called a form, and we'll talk more about it next time, but I just wanted to give you a very brief introduction to something that's called a form. And a form is something that you fill out. You've seen it in many web pages. If you want to, let's say, register to a Club Penguin, or you want to send feedback to somebody, or you just go and put your email and password. A lot of web pages have something that's called a form, and we'll create a little form with one field just to show how to build a form in HTML. So the way we do it is we start a tag that's called form, and inside the form tag we'll put method, and the method will be something that's usually a script that gets executed. But of course we didn't learn anything about scripts yet, so we'll just make up some name, and we'll see later on what a script is and how we can build one. And we'll say method equals post, which means we're posting the form into that script. Right now we don't know what the script is, so it really doesn't matter. I'm just building a very simple form, and I will explain you a little bit more in the next few minutes, but still the script will be something that we'll do at a later time, not today. So this is the form tag, and the end of the form will be, as usual, /form. And inside the form we can put different values. So the first thing that I'll put inside the form will be something that's called a text field. So the way we put a text field is we put a tag that's called input, and type equals text. And we'll have a name for that. Name equals user. Right now it doesn't matter what the name is. and let's give it a size and let's close it. So we have a form with one field and let's see what happens when we upload this page. So this was page 9. Save and load page 9 again. Okay, now let's see how page 9 looks like. Okay, so what we had up until now we put before, and now this is the text field that I just created inside the form that allows me to type in text. Now it would be helpful if we knew what this text field stood for. So in order to do that, we can give it a label, and what we'll do is we'll go back to the page and let's put it inside a paragraph P, and let's call it user name colon, and let's close the paragraph here. Save, upload it again, and reload. Okay, so now I gave it a name, called it username. So we have, this is called a label. The username is the label, and this is the text field, the input field. So this is a very, very simple form that just shows you what a text field is, and in the next lesson we'll create a more sophisticated form, or a form with few fields, and we'll create some radio buttons and a submit button. It will not be functioning yet because we didn't learn how to process a form, but it will look like a form. For example, if you want to create a feedback form, you have a website and you want to get feedback from people on how your website looks like, or if they want you to improve, what they want you to improve, etc. And you can call it a feedback form. So next time we'll create something that's called a feedback form, and we'll see how we place everything on the HTML page to create it. So for right now, just remember that the way to create a form, to start a form, is with a form tag, and then inside the form you type in your fields that you need, your input fields, and you end it with the /form, and everything that's inside those tags between the form and the /form are included inside the form. So this is enough for now, and next time, as I said, we'll talk more about forms and other good things. So that's it for lesson 5.